welcome to episode 7 of the Caffeinated Marketing Podcast. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. My name is Becky, and I'm your host. One of the things I'm excited to accomplish with the podcast is doing deep dives around different tools that I discover on my personal journey with AI. I think it'll be a great way for us to do some exploration. There is such a rapid proliferation of tools that it can feel very overwhelming. I'm spending a fair amount of time focused on understanding and keeping track of the different launches of tools and still find myself overwhelmed on the regular. So hopefully this is a little tool and guide that can help you figure out which things are worth your energy and which things maybe you save for another time. I thought I would start today with a tool that I like very much. There are lots of tools out there that I've experimented with mixed results. I'm sure I will have some where I have negative results. This is one that I have been using on the regular for a couple of months now and really enjoy and see a lot of use cases and utility in using. So I'm going to talk today about Notebook LM, which is a tool from Google. Notebook LM allows you to upload a PDF and it will produce any number of insights for you based on that PDF. You can create a study guide, you can create a table of contents, you can ask questions about the document. But the feature that I have really enjoyed is that you can upload any PDF and Notebook LM will produce a two-person podcast. And here's why I love it. I'm a geek and this is cool. You can put in a document and honestly, in 5 minutes or less, generally speaking, it will come back with 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes of content based on that document. So the first thing I ever did with Notebook LM was I had written a career overview. It's about 26 pages long. I put it into Notebook LM and it created for me a personal hype reel, really. 20 minutes of people talking back and forth to each other about how amazing Becky is. And it was really fun. I spoke in an earlier episode, I think, or maybe it was in the AI decathlon, about the way that Notebook LM was able to take components of the text and add context. So the example that I like to give is one of my early career projects was rolling out an alternative front end to a mainframe labor claiming system. It sounds as bad as it was. But I was working with an amazing team in Japan, and we were trying to run a Lotus Notes front end for double byte character set. So double byte character set shows up in the description of that role, and that's not something that everyone would understand. Double byte character sets are meant to hold the extra data that you need for a Japanese or Chinese character, and mainframes, at least at that point, could not store the data that way and could not capture double byte characters. So Notebook LM stopped and said, well, hold on a second. I'm not sure everyone in our audience is going to know what is a double byte character. They went on to define it, and then they talked about why it was important and what it meant I had to do in order to get that project to work successfully, none of which was in the text. So I thought that was really, really exciting. I also uploaded a file I was using for a personal project and just sort of wanted to kind of gut check how that was coming along, submitted it to the AI, and it picked up on subtext, things that were not explicit in the writing, things that were not explicit in my text, came through enough that the hosts on the podcast were able to talk about it. So I find that fascinating, particularly given how quickly those artifacts get generated. The other reason I'm really excited about this tool is it's one where I see absolute, actionable, direct utility for marketers. Not every tool that comes out is going to have immediate utility for all of us. The example that I like to use is video creation. There are so many incredible video generation tools coming online at a very rapid clip. There were quite a few that came out or were updated at the end of 2024. But so far, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, which is better than nothing and certainly allows you to edit things together, but not exactly a replacement for video production, certainly at any sort of scale. In this instance with Notebook LM, the first use case that came to mind for me was around sales enablement. So imagine that you have a new launch that you're supporting. You have a new product. Perhaps it's technically complex or something that's not aligned with your existing portfolio, and you really are going to need to lean in and make sure that your sellers are comfortable, confident, have mastered this material. You would do all of the regular things that are part of your launch process, part of your bill of materials and your toolkit. But imagine if you could also create a podcast that would allow your sellers to consume the material in a new format, and it makes it something that they can listen to on a walk, in the school pickup line, waiting at soccer practice, at the grocery store. The content is your work. It's based on your inputs, but it doesn't require any pre or post production. It's almost like magic. I think this is a really exciting opportunity to think about what are the things you would do if you had more hours in your day, and can AI generate those hours in your day? You don't have to schedule an SME. You don't have to figure out equipment. You don't have to do any editing or worry about how many times you said or in my case, my verbal tick is the word so, and I edit it out of audio all the time. Imagine that suddenly, with just the work you've already created, you have an entirely new, very, very useful artifact for your teams. The other thing I've used it for recently is message testing. I've been working on messaging and some pretty important artifacts for a couple of clients. And one of the things that I like to do is take the messaging and put it into Notebook LM and then listen back to what I hear. So it allows me to look for gaps, to test new messaging to make sure that what it plays back to me resonates in the way that I want it to. A couple of them have been so good that we've considered publishing them for the client as is. We really have found that it will hone in on some of the more engaging elements or components of a message and resonate that back with additional context and content. So that's really very cool. And for me to have the ability to go test, what did I put in and what are the key points that get extracted, helps me sort of model what I think a real live user might get when going through a long and complex document. You can also give the AI guidance about where to focus, but the coolest thing is there is a brand new feature where you can actually interact with the hosts. So you generate your podcast, you click join, and it actually gives you the ability to ask questions about the content or say, tell me more about this. I'd love to hear more about that. And you can do that in an interactive flow just by using the tool. I'm working on a personal project that involves quite a bit of writing, and I've used it to see if the tone and the content are coming across the way I want. It definitely was another example where there were elements of the text that were implicit, not explicit, and that subtext came through, and whole conversations happened in the audio about what I didn't say in the pages. My brother's taking some graduate level courses while working full time. He works in construction and he listens to podcasts all day long while he works. So I gave him the tip to take his PDFs, put his curriculum into the tool, and now while he works, he can listen to that material to reinforce it throughout his workday. So anything, you could take a piece of literature, you could take a complex technical document, you could take a competitor's document and put it in, and it just becomes another way. I'm super passionate about understanding the different ways in which people learn. One of those is that, there's science that shows that you absorb material better with some movement. It was a big thing when my kids were in school, movement breaks. So if I can take complex material, get it into audio form and head out for a walk with my dog, the odds that I'm going to retain that information go up. And maybe it's just that incremental retention that I need in order to be confident in a conversation. I think it's a great option for students who might need to summarize or understand information. Imagine that you're writing a paper and you just want to see if it hits home. My sister was here for the holidays. She's a college professor. We talked a lot about how AI is helping students in her curriculum. She teaches math education, but also the ways in which they're using AI as a shortcut and therefore depriving themselves of learning. This to me feels like a use case that would actually be quite useful. Hey, I had to write a paper. It's very long. I want to make sure that the thesis is clear. I want to make sure that my conclusion is clear. I want to make sure that the points I made along the way resonate. Drop it into Notebook LM and you can see if the hosts pick up on what you were laying down. So I think the use cases are incredible. It's so fast, very accurate. I haven't had any challenges with it yet. I'm going to do a little show and tell on the website. So if you go to caffeinatedmarketing.com or the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see me in action with how quick it is to upload a document, generate that podcast, and I'll play a little bit with the join feature. So head on over to caffeinatedmarketing.com if you want to see that.
People can come together and shape the future of marketing. And speaking of shaping the future, let's talk about what this experience could mean for their careers.
Yeah, it's like this decathlon could launch their careers, you know? It's not just learning about AI, it's getting ahead in a field that's changing so fast.
It is, and when you think about it, AI is already reshaping marketing. We see it everywhere, like personalized ads, predictive analytics, all that. And this decathlon puts participants right in the middle of that. They don't just see it happening, they're part of it.
So they're learning the tools, but also learning how to think and adapt in this AI-driven world. That's got to be valuable for employers who want marketers who are, future-proof.
Absolutely. Those skills from the decathlon, critical thinking, data analysis, problem solving, quick iteration, those are all super important in marketing now. People can use their decathlon experience to show they can handle a fast-paced, tech-heavy environment. It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It shows you didn't just accept AI, you mastered it. And it's not just the skills, it's the confidence, the willingness to push boundaries. That's what makes a leader in the AI age.
Exactly. It's about not being scared of AI replacing you, but seeing how you can work with it, be creative with it. The decathlon turns people into pioneers, shaping the future of marketing, mixing human smarts with AI power.
This deep dive has been eye-opening, really. We talked about how unique the decathlon is, the challenges and what you learn in each event, and how it helps you grow, personally and professionally, by using AI in marketing.
And thinking about all that, here's a question to leave you with. How could doing the Caffeinated Marketing AI Decathlon not only make you a better marketer, but change how you see the whole future of marketing?
That's a good one to think about. And for anyone wanting to know more about the decathlon or AI marketing in general, check out the CaffeinAIted website. They've got tons of stuff, tutorials, a whole community of marketers excited about AI and what it can do.
Remember, the future isn't about being afraid of AI. It's about using its potential, making it a force for good, for creative stuff.
So go out there, explore, experiment. Don't be afraid to push your limits and see where AI marketing takes you. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, and keep caffeinating your marketing.